The Miltech Sport Volkswagen Racing Cup is set for a thrilling finale here at Donington Park this weekend. 5 different drivers come here, still in with a chance of winning the championship, and it's certain to be a dramatic end to the season. The championship is led by Joe Fulbrook heading to Donington, but he's only 6 points ahead of Lucas Orrick, Stefan de Resta, Aaron Mason and David Sutton, all still in with a chance of the title.
Well, Joe, it's going to be a tense weekend here at Donington Park. With your experience, what are your thoughts coming into it?
I mean, it's anyone's game, really. There's a few points difference in the championship, but it's nothing really coming into it. Few people carrying zero ballast, and I think the top 3 carrying quite a bit of ballast, all does the championship quite a lot. So it's going to be down to, I would have thought, reliability mainly this weekend. So we really need to work on our reliability. I certainly just need to finish top 6 for a couple of races. I think Aaron will probably have the pace hopefully this weekend, so I mean he'll be back up there. Lucas and Stefan are both, we're all in with a shout, but it's definitely finishing is the key, because you know, we've been here before, back in I think 2007 I think it was, and had some super bad luck and lost the championship on a failure. So just hope we don't do that again this year. But yeah, we're in the top seat at the minute, so that's the best place to be, I think.
The penultimate round of the championship then is about to get underway here at Donington Park. It's the full Grand Prix circuit, and the man on pole position is Aaron Mason, the most successful driver in the history of the championship. This year, an outsider for the championship. Remember, it's Fulbrook's lone Golf trying to fend off the Sirocco hordes. David Sutton, who had those 2 victories at Brands Hatch, lines up on the outside of the front row. Jack Walker-Tully will start 3rd, and then Joe Fulbrook is 4th as we get ready for the penultimate round of the series. It has been an ultra-competitive championship year, so 20 minutes of racing about to get underway. Drivers look towards the lights. They go out, the cars get underway. On board with Joe Fulbrook, who blasts away from the line, but it's David Sutton who has made the best start on the way down towards Redgate. Fulbrook grabs a gear, but loses places because they've come past him on the left and on the right. Stuart Lyons in grief, though, at the first corner, losing places, hand over fist. Lucas Orrick then, another driver who could still take the championship, right on the tail of Stefan de Resta here as they plunge downhill. Drivers thinking about places, but thinking about points and not wanting to get into a situation where they're in jeopardy and risk not scoring at all. Out of the old hairpin for the first time. Cars climbing uphill, the Siroccos running together. De Resta just ahead there and off the road already. Look, and in the gravel has gone 55, and that is Simon Deaton's car. David Sutton leading, but Aaron Mason almost pushing him through Coppice. Jack Walker-Tully runs 3rd ahead of James Greenway, who's taken a race win this year as well. He's 4th. Down they come towards the S's for the first time, but Fulbrook significantly staying ahead of Lucas Orrick in his first year of car racing. This is de Resta's view, Josh Cagill ahead of him. Into the S's. Turn left, turn right, then back on the power, down to the Melbourne hairpin once more. Aaron Mason thinking about attacking Sutton, about having to defend from JWT because Jack Walker-Tully is right up behind him. This is a replay of Joe Fulbrook's start. Lights red, lights out. Bogs down a little perhaps, but he gets up through the gears. But straight away, even though he tries to move across and defend, the others that are on their toes come past him. Jack Walker-Tully comes through on the inside, Stuart Lyons on the outside. And then into Redgate. Is there a nudge? Well, certainly Lyons gets sideways and drifts out wide. And that's why he was in strife at the very first corner. Up the inside of Greenway, tries to go Fulbrook, but there just isn't quite the room, and the Golf has to back out of it. Race leaders together. Aaron Mason round the outside of David Sutton and into the race lead, going into McLean's, and up to 2nd there, look, dives James Greenway. On board with Fulbrook once again. He's running 5th as the cars go into Coppice. Ahead of him is Jack Walker-Tully, and Joe Fulbrook, the best of the golf club at the moment because he's the leading non-Sirocco driver, makes his way down towards the S's. Perhaps some of the variety in terms of shapes has gone in the championship. It's very much a straight fight between the Golf and the Sirocco these days, but it has been a superb season. Great racing, very, very impressive car presentation and preparation. And fascinating to see the way that the Siroccos work well at some circuits, the Golf's better at others. Fulbrook buying back into the lead scrap. David Sutton up the inside there of Walker-Tully. And look, you've got de Resta and also 33 Lucas Orrick joining that long, long line of cars. David Sutton, nearest us in the black car, goes to the inside of Walker Tully, who's got a bit of trim flapping off the back. Stefan de Resta through Roberts, and he's right on the tail now of Joe Fulbrook. Over the timing line, down towards Redgate Corner, the Celtic Speed Sirocco looking to gain places. De Resta with a bit of damage at the front, needs to get ahead of Fulbrook to keep alive his championship hopes. To the top of the Craner curves they come once again, and now that you've got Sutton and Walker Tully absolutely side by side for third, so the top two breaking away, almost touching as they come downhill. Walker Tully has to give way, slots back in behind the ex-single-seater racer, but then comes up the inside as out wide over the curb, and onto the dirt goes David Sutton. He uses lots of curbs heading uphill. Joe Fulbrook in the Golf tries to get up the inside as well. Every point counts, every place is crucial. Fulbrook hung out to dry on the outside of Stefan de Resta. They almost lean on each other coming through McLean's, and Fulbrook in the Golf stays ahead up to Coppice, or does he? Here comes de Resta. He goes over the curve as Fulbrook tries to close the door. On board now with Lucas Orrock. It's de Resta ahead of him as they go down towards the S's. Hard on the brakes. Fulbrook is the one who locks up. Little puff of tar smoke, and dust kicked into the face here of Orrock from de Resta. Lucas Orrock, in his first year of car racing, has done an outstanding job. He's fighting for the championship, and he's almost up with championship rival Fulbrook, as now de Resta goes to the outside and loses ground. He no longer is on the back of Fulbrook, but he does stay ahead of Orrock as they come now towards the left at Roberts. On the brakes, into the corner, through the left-hander, back on the power. Battles rage on lower down as well, look. James Pyle in 88 turns his way out of the Melbourne hairpin and goes uphill, chasing after, amongst others, Cameron Thompson. You've also got Andy Wilmot in 21 there. Wilmot dives to the inside, all locked up. But Cameron Thompson gives him room, steers away from any dramas. Thompson, former Beetle racer. You see the way the Beetles have faded out. It's very much, as I say, Golf or Sirocco these days. James Walker in 66. Unusual colours for him as Stuart Lyons goes all over the grass and goes off the road on the outside, and up past him as well goes Sam Morgan. Morgan using the grass, but a big drama for Lyons. He'll sort himself out, no doubt, but more places lost. It's all happening here at Donington. Penultimate round of the Miltech Sport Volkswagen Racing Cup, as now Lucas Orrock comes up to try to take a place away from Stefan de Resta, and in the process give himself more points. He's done it. He's gone through on the inside. Now this is another look at Stuart Lyons, braking late, using the grass on the inside, but then running wide, and Sam Morgan did pretty much the same thing, but as Lyons is on the grass, he loses heaps of places, and indeed is out of the race. He doesn't recover, the car is out of the race, and maybe it was a problem that caused him to take to the grass in the first place. Joe McMillan there, he's got damage as well in his Sirocco, heading up ahead of Tim Snaleham towards Coppice. A squeal of tyres, Orrock is sideways, de Resta is off the road and through the gravel. He's back on track, but Lucas Orrock stays ahead of him now. Down they come, into the Melbourne hairpin. 98, rallyman and former Formula Ford racer Robert Barrable joining the championship this weekend and going strongly. And this was what did for Orrock. Massive slide there, look. Thumps the curb, gets it completely sideways. And no wonder that towards the gravel in avoidance went Stefan de Resta. Now he is on the back of Orrock and saying, come on, stop fighting me, let's work together and try and catch up to the others. And the others are in strife as well, because there, look, off the road and into the gravel goes Jack Walker Tully. He's way out wide, trying to dig through the gravel. He's ripped the rear valance off the car, but he has got out of the gravel. Now, is that bodywork going to go flying, or will he come into the pit lane and get it sorted out? Into the Melbourne hairpin there. Stefan de Resta shoves his nose up the inside of 33, which is Lucas Orrock, but he can't find a way by. To Roberts they come. Stand on the brakes, turn into the left-hander. There's somebody off there, rejoining. Now, is that one of the leading group of cars? Let's try and see in a moment. This is what happened to Jack Walker Tully. Did he go off thanks to contact? No, he clips the car. Puncture. Left rear tyre's gone down, that's the reason. So suddenly the car snaps sideways, throws him off into the gravel, and way down the order. This is Joe Fulbrook's view now, closing up onto the back of David Sutton. and potentially it is going to be Fullbrook and Orrock, the only two for the championship going into the last race. And Fullbrook massively frustrated as David Sutton defends going into the Melbourne hairpin, but a really slow run down the straight means that Fullbrook, hugely frustrated, has pretty much nowhere to go. Up to the checkered flag comes Aaron Mason. He's going to take a fourth victory of the season. Checkered flag for Aaron Mason. He wins at Donington. As second across the timing line is James Greenaway, and David Sutton is going to be third ahead of Joe Fullbrook, who comes through rather frustrated that it was only fourth. Fifth is Lucas Orrock and Stefan Di Resta sixth, and that means that Fullbrook and Orrock will go into the last round still fighting for the crown. Howard Fuller's car heads to the timing line 22. There is Sam Morgan after his grassy moment, and Morgan will come through lower down the order. Confirmation of the race 1 result. Aaron Mason victorious from James Greenaway and David Sutton. It's Joe Fullbrook 4 ahead of Lucas Orrock and Stefan Di Resta.